Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into Bronco Nation News Live here on a Thursday edition. We're off and rolling. About 30 seconds ago, I just spilled my energy drink on my mixer here, so we're using no microphone. So the good old Mac computer microphone is going to have to do today. So I apologize for that. But Mike, we're here. We're in LA. It's Thursday of Bowl Week, and appreciate you for joining us. How we doing?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry about your mixer. That's a crappy way to begin a Thursday, but it's replaceable, right?
Yeah, it is when I get back to Boise. So hopefully we can. I'm hoping to, little unplug it, plug it back in, and blow on it and dry it off, and hopefully here in an hour we can pretend it didn't happen. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I also got the LA experience last night, Mike Prater. I'm watching on my phone, looking on Twitter, Instagram. Got the TV on a little bit, and I hear "You're under arrest. Stop!" coming from some speaker system. So I go over to the window and I see couple of cop cars, the lights go around the building, but I kind of really couldn't hear what was going on. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Literally 20 minutes later, I turn on all the news and there's a car chase going on downtown LA. And it was on every channel. And so I was hooked for 45 minutes watching a LA car chase while in LA. It was quite the experience last night.
Well, that is the residential thing to do in Southern California. Those are highly rated television shows, as they say in the business. So I'm glad you were able to partake in one of those. Very nice. And be safe out there. Stay away from stray bullets. Don't do that.
I was walking to get the energy drink, which maybe I shouldn't have because I may have just broke a $200 mixer, and I had to question if I was in an okay area to do that this morning after seeing that last night. But yeah, and then it was fascinating. I couldn't turn it off for 45 minutes, and the gentleman actually got over a fence, ditched his car, and got over a fence into a wooded backyard. And then there were no cops. He had somehow eluded the cops for a while, so I don't know if the guy got away or if he's in a tree somewhere hiding. But they had to cut away from the broadcast because it was so anticlimactic because they couldn't find the guy anymore. He got away, I think. So it was quite the fun. But that's a story for another day. We're in LA, obviously, for the bowl game. And excited to be here. We have plenty of coverage coming. We're going to hear from Riley Smith, our partnership with Element Fencing. He caught up with Matt Lauder. We played that on Ball Talk last night, but I want to play it again for those that missed it. We're going to hear for a little bit from Rodney Robinson as well. The news of the day, not surprising yesterday, Bush Hamden named offensive coordinator, hired, I guess, a 2-year contract. I believe it's $940,000, Mike Prater, by my reporting and knowledge. I believe that's the largest assistant coach contract in Boise State athletics history. Spencer Danielson had that last year at $425 a year, and now it goes up to $460 and then $480 for Bush Hamden. No surprise there. And then I think it is widely expected. I would say it's pretty much a lock that today at some point Eric Shenander will be named the defensive coordinator, getting promoted from the defensive line coach. So Bush and Eric Shenander, where are you on the coordinators for 2024?
We did a big segment yesterday at Idaho Sports Talk, kind of comparing the two resumes and introducing everybody to Boise State's new power team of Bush Hamden and Eric Shenander. And I like it. We still kind of getting to learn Eric Shenander a little bit. He's kind of been a quiet guy behind the scenes as we nibbled and kind of figured out who this cat is. But look at his resume. It's pretty loaded. And he's got a lot of pretty strong mentors. This guy started off, ironically, with Chip Kelly as an intern in Oregon, a small-town Iowa kid who found his way into Eugene and Chip Kelly's system, and then Mark Helfrich at Oregon for a little bit. He went to the Eagles with Chip Kelly for that one season, and then he really hooked himself up with Scott Frost for a couple of years, won himself a national championship ring at Central Florida, and then the Nebraska experiment. His resume is a lot like Bush Hamdan, a lot of small college experience, all the way up into the dabbling into the NFL with some powerful mentors like Chris Peterson. So I think that their resumes, maybe Spencer Danielson has a type, or maybe it was just coincidence because they were right there in front of him. He couldn't screw these hires up. I think Bush Hamdan and Eric Shenander on paper are really, really strong. It's probably the strongest part of this coaching staff, considering Spencer Danielson has never been a head coach before.
Well, the team practiced yesterday. We'll have some footage of that. They also got a chance to go out to Top Golf. And I mentioned Element Fencing. Riley Smith is sending back some footage for us. And they went to Top Golf.
What's up, guys? Riley Smith here, BNN correspondent.
Oh, hold on. I screwed this up. I forgot we had our double graphic on here. I'll get back to it in a second. But I kind of chuckled, though, Mike, when I heard Top Golf, because now that used to be a thing, but now Boise's got one. So they go do something they could have done they go do something they could have done in Boise.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the exact same thing. You got to go all the way to Los Angeles to play Top Golf? No. I mean, I guess it's a little warmer, but Top Golf here in Boise in December, when it's this cold, you got a fire pit, you got heaters, it's all set to go. So
they're going.
It's good team camaraderie for those guys and getting the whole team together. It probably doesn't really matter the venue as long as there's 110 football players standing around doing their thing.
And they are going to Universal Studios this afternoon, so they'll get a good time there at Universal Studios. Well, let's try this again with Riley Smith and Top Golf.
What's up, guys? Riley Smith here, BNN correspondent out in LA, checking in at Top Golf. Enjoy the fun.
All right, we got to work with him, though, Mike Prater. His pan here is a little quick. I'm starting to get dizzy getting all the players walking in here. We got to work on the panning. But he does have some guys here taking some shots, and we can kind of decide who kind of has the best-looking golf swing here. Again, the lighting's not great, but Ben Ford right here, Eagle Wide, looks like he knows what he's doing. That's a nice swing there from Ben Ford. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly coming up here. Tyler Crow, all right. He looks like he had a little bit of power behind it. He's excited about it. George Kalani, though, I know you wrote about him. We'll talk about him, but he ain't going pro in his golf swing. Boom! He topped it. It might have gone about 5 yards. Shea Oladipo here, also one that doesn't look like he probably has swung a golf club before. Ahmed Hassanin, though, I mean, he let it fly there. That was quite the swing from Ahmed Hassanin. He certainly let it fly. And they gave him these vests, and it's not working properly, but they gave him these vests, Mike Prater, so he went shirtless with the vest they gave him to show off the guns there on the swing. Let's revisit George Kalani's swing one more time.
Boom! Ouch!
And Shea Oladipo there, he addresses the ball, but the swing itself wasn't great. So, again, they're having some fun at Top Golf. We're going to hear from Riley Smith again doing an interview. But George Kalani, you wrote about him for Bronco Nation News. If I had checked my email, I would have seen your column. I'll have it posted here in about, as soon as the show ends, I'll get that posted right away. But George Kalani, we saw, luckily his golf swing right there is not what he's known for in the city of Boise, but he is going to be playing in his final game at Boise State. And as you're talking, by the way, I'm going to try to plug my mic back in and see if we have any luck. But George Kalani, his final game at Boise State, and you got a column coming out shortly on BNN about him.
How ironic is that? If you look at that Top Golf video, right over the other side of that fence is exactly where George Kalani grew up. He grew up in the shadows of where you guys are hanging out right now, grew up in the shadows of Inglewood and Bellflower and obviously St. John Bosco. And I went back and found the day he committed on October 1st, 2018. And when his career ends on Saturday night, right pretty much in the exact same spot where it started for George Kalani, 1,903 days he spent as a Bronco. And I don't think there's ever been a truer Bronco than George Kalani. It's pretty spectacular what this guy's done. And it's not always about the stats. His stats are pretty damn good as well. He's going to go down as one of the top 5 productive quarterback or running backs in Boise State football history in terms of carries, in terms of yards. And then as a teammate, as a locker room guy, as a chemistry guy, as a dependable leader on this football team, he's going to be an A-class, first-class blue chipper. So I got a little emotional writing that column last night. We're all going to be a little emotional about George Chilani. Part of the column also includes the fact that I don't think we appreciated him enough. We never appreciated him like the Minters and the Forseys and the Ian Johnsons and the Ajay's and the Doug Martins. So he's kind of slipped under the radar a little bit, and now all of a sudden here comes Ashton Genty to steal his thunder. But you know what? George doesn't care. George has done everything that he wanted to do. He's got everything out of his career that he possibly can, and now he's going to try to give the NFL a shot, and I can't wait to see what happens with George Chilani.
How do you think they divvy up the running back carries in this game?
I think they're going to depend on him a lot. I think we all agree that they're going to depend on running backs a lot in this game. You're not going to want to put C.J. Tiller out there and have him throw the ball 40 times. I think they're going to manage the game with Tiller just like they did with Taylor Green, 15 to 18 throws, and we'll see how it shakes out. I'd give George Chilani and Ashton Genty each 15 to 20 carries. I mean, if you need to win the game at the very end, I feel just as comfortable putting the rock in George's hand as I do Ashton Genty. Over the course of a game, can Ashton Genty be more powerful and explosive? Absolutely. But you know what? When Ashton Genty left, and I saw some people on social media saying, it's time for him to go. Ashton Genty's the man. If you guys were general managers of a football team and you thought like that, you'd be in last place. You need two running backs. You need a George Chilani on your football team. When Ashton Genty went down for 2.5 games, who came in and saved the day? It was George Chilani. And to sit here and think in this day and age that Ashton Genty can go out there and be productive for 14 consecutive games, yeah, it could happen. And we want it to happen, and it could happen. But you know what? You always have to have that backup plan. And I think George Chilani on Saturday is going to get at least 15 to 20 carries, maybe Genty as well, both be productive. George Chilani has earned the right to be productive on Saturday night, even though Ashton Genty is the superstar on this football team.
Yeah, I mean, you go based on the drills, and we'll put some practice footage up here that Boise State sent out. So the video is courtesy of Boise State as we're talking, Mike. But you know how we dissect the running back order and the drills and all that? George Chilani is getting the first rep with all this stuff. So not to say that he's going to get every carry, but I would suspect the first carry of the game might go to George Chilani.
I'd start him. I'd start him. I mean, we got plenty of Ashton Genty time in front of us, and this dude has just been such a rock star in terms of what he's made. I was doing that research last night. Like I said, he's going to be top 5 in carries. I think he's had 668 touches as a running back. He's lost 3 fumbles. 3 fumbles in his entire career, 5 years. He's lost 3 fumbles. Twice this season alone, Ashton Genty has lost 2 fumbles in a game. So that's just how dependable George Chilani is. He's always dependable off the field. He's always dependable on the field. You know, it's whoever starts on Saturday, it'd be nice to see Chilani start. It'd be more ceremonial than anything else. I just want him to be productive and relevant in the fourth quarter, even if he's sharing time with Ashton Genty, whether it's series here, series there. Let them both run the ball. Between the two of them, I hope they get 40 carries.
There's George right there. They were working on some drills with 2 balls. And I remember going back a couple of years ago, Mike, there was some when George Chilani didn't play, it was a big deal in terms of the offense really struggling. You look at some of the games they lost the last couple of years, it was because George Chilani wasn't out there. They had a non-existent running game before Ashton Genty really got going those first couple of years of George Chilani when he wasn't there. You know, he came on as that freshman. They had Robert Mahone. They had some of these guys. But George Chilani was that just solid, dependable guy, as you said, that was going to get you 80, 90, over 100 yards pretty much every game he was out there. You see Spencer Danielson working at practice yesterday. They were at El Camino Junior College for practice yesterday, Mike Prater, and they were getting after it a little bit. They were in not full pads, but had shoulder pads and helmets, and were really getting after it. And I think that this is a very motivated team. You see CJ Tiller right there. We haven't talked since then. I was, I guess I'll use the W word, Mike. It's hard for me to say it, but I was wrong. I just based on what I had heard and reading the tea leaves, I really thought that Colt Fulton was going to be the guy they actually went with in this game. And I don't know if CJ Tiller just outperformed him in practice or if there was politics involved in terms of, him being the scholarship guy. I know you really wanted no part of Colt Fulton in this game, and some people, were with that. But, talking to Brad Bedell and Kent Riddle and Winston Venable on our subscriber show the other night, they all said, you got to win the game on Saturday. You can't worry about the transfer portal or next year. You got to win the game on Saturday, and you worry about everything else later. And who gives you the best chance to do that? They must believe that's CJ Tiller right there. You see him throwing a pass. Again, whenever you ask the question about CJ Tiller, the first thing anybody says is, well, he's young, but he's coming along. And it just felt like that at this time, reading between the tea leaves, I had thought that Colt Fulton was a little further ahead in terms of being ready to manage this offense for one game on Saturday, but doesn't sound like that's the case. CJ Tiller has done enough to win over this coaching staff, and we get maybe a glimpse of the future, the CJ Tiller show on Saturday.
Yeah, that first half on Saturday night is going to be spectacular to watch. I think that's really going to set the table for the CJ Tiller era, however it plays out over these next couple of months or next couple of years. But, it's really weird. The only flaw in my idea of starting CJ Tiller is, as a true freshman who's never thrown a pass in college before, what if he does come out and struggle? What if he does come out, think back to Hank Bachmeier, Oregon State, or think back to some of these games where the quarterback was really struggling and you really had no choice. Are you going to bench CJ Tiller and bring in the walk-on who's also never thrown a college football pass? That you kind of back yourself into a little bit of a situation where maybe you have the starting quarterback and your option is not as attractive as it could be. If you start Colt Fulton and he struggles, well, okay, he's the walk-on. Here comes the true freshman. Here comes the Scully guy. Here comes CJ Tiller to save the day. So you really don't have that ace in your back pocket. But you know what? Coaches can't think that way. Coaches got to think he's the best guy. I have to win this football game, and let's start him and see what happens. Yeah, he could have a really bad game, or maybe he's the next superstar. We all saw what Hank Bachmeier did in his first start as a college football player. George Holani, in his first ever start at Boise State, was against San Jose State in 19. I think it was week 5, and he ran for 150 yards and 4 touchdowns, including 2 in the fourth quarter, to beat San Jose State in a shootout. That was George Holani's first ever career start, so it can happen, guys.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember the first ever game for George Holani. That was at Florida State, correct?
Yes.
And that was when he ended up coming from 3rd on the depth chart to rush for like almost 100 yards or over 100 yards in that game, because I think Robert Mahone had fumbled. Was Andrew Van Buren the other back at that point? Or he might have fumbled one or got hurt or something too. And here comes George Holani, 3rd string, and all of a sudden he just starts working his way up the depth chart. So, crazier things have happened. And I know Bush Hamden, he called me out on your guys' show. It was all in good fun. I talked to the coaches about this and based on how the Colorado State game went when you had the late Hail Mary loss, I get it. If you're a coach, all of a sudden you're now never thinking there's a lead big enough where you can put the backups in the game the rest of the season. I get it. And maybe it wouldn't have helped. Maybe CJ Tiller handing the ball off a couple times in the New Mexico game, maybe it wouldn't have really helped. But I just would have liked to have, if there was an opportunity, it would have been nice, I'm sure, if they could have, to get CJ Tiller some other reps later in the season. Once you're within that 4-game redshirt rule, I would have liked to have gotten him out there just to get a little comfortable running the offense and doing things, so that first play on Saturday is not some huge shock to him. But he got 2 whole snaps in the Utah State game, 1 handoff and 1 kneel down. And that's you've been covering Boise State football, college football for a long time, Mike. I can't, this is pretty unprecedented. A true freshman, first career start, has taken 2 snaps in his career, starting in an NFL stadium against a Pac-12 team in the LA Bowl on ABC. I mean, this is a big stage for him.
Absolutely a big stage, and let's see how he can handle it. There's no doubt that CJ Tiller can be a good football player and has the skills, but upstairs in the mind, he has to know that this is a big moment, and he's from that area. I mean, Rancho Cucamonga is just about 90 minutes to the east of the stadium, right down the 210. He's going to have family there, so it's going to be a pressure-packed situation. If he can handle it upstairs, that'll tell us a lot about this kid, because he's going to get better physically, so that's not going to be a big problem. But yeah, I'm very curious as to what's going to happen with CJ Tiller. And going back to the season, you're right in theory, but can you imagine, as ugly and as weird as that 2-quarterback system got, if all of a sudden they just interjected a 3rd quarterback? They probably wanted to. Your plan is solid. It's the right plan. It's what you should be doing. But Boise State got itself into such a pickle during the quarterback situation this year. I don't think you could have brought in a 3rd one. That would have really sent the fan base. That would have sent the locker room. We would have had a crazy, even if it's CJ Tiller coming in for a series here or a series there, quarterback number 3 under what we saw this season, that would have been really weird. Really weird.
Yeah, my belief is once Madsen got hurt, and then you knew the last couple of games there was a chance Taylon Green might transfer. I just think that it was a little short-sighted, or Taylon Green could have got hurt. I mean, once Maddox Madsen went down and you were also within the 4 games, I would have covered that yourself a little better for this possibility, because now you are, they have a very good chance of winning this game. And now you're stuck with a quarterback making his first career start. And as we said, maybe CJ Tiller goes out there and balls out and does great and there's no issues. No, man, this is the quarterback of the future. But if he struggles and, they lose this game partially because of quarterback play, not being able to convert third downs, things like that, I think you're going to say, man, it would have been nice if we could have got him 8 or 10 pass attempts later in the season just to feel a little more comfortable. Again, that's why Bush Hamden makes $460,000 and we're making 5% of that or whatever it is. So it is what it is. They know what they're doing. They're way smarter than we are. But I if there was a way, I think they would even admit if there was a way to get them in the game and get them some more experience, they would have liked to have done that. And I guess it just wasn't the case. Let's take a quick 90-second timeout, Prater, and then I want to hear from Riley Smith. I want to get your take on his interviewing skills. We flipped the page. Riley Smith doing the interview with Matt Lauder. It's about a 2-minute interview. It's pretty quick, but we'll do that. We're going to hear from Rodney Robinson as well. But a quick 90-second break here, live from Los Angeles. Bronco Nation News getting you set for the LA Bowl. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com.
By the way, Mike, I'm surprised I never got a text from you regarding the firing of Craig Berube. I was a little I know we both got a lot going on right now, but I was really surprised the other night to see that come through. I don't think he had anything to do with the problem with my St. Louis Blues, but you know how it is when the GM has to cover himself for a couple of rough moves, the coaches and a couple of high contract players not stepping up. The easiest move, unfortunately, is usually the coach.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought about it. I complained to the wife this morning before I left that we've been so busy the last 10 days. I haven't even watched a hockey game for 10 days, which is horrible for me. That's probably why I'm extra grumpy. And the last time you and I talked about hockey, you were in Vegas to watch St. Louis, which beat my Vegas Golden Knights that night. I know Vegas got revenge a couple of nights later in St. Louis, so we've been going back and forth in the hockey world. But yeah, apologies to you and your coach, man. You needed a coaching change. Now you just need to get rid of that stinking goalie I don't like.
Yeah, that was some people were saying that game against Vegas, by the way, was maybe his best performance of his career. Better than game 7 of the Stanley Cup final in that 2-1 win against Vegas out there. So you know what, Lo, that we have that one cup run that I'll have forever. And if we don't, if we're the last place team for 10 more years, it's probably still worth it to have the Stanley Cup championship. But Riley Smith, thanks to our friends at Elman Fencing, Mike Prater, a new NIL deal we have set up with them. Family-owned local fence company specializing in residential and commercial cedar fence, decks, outdoor rooms, pergolas, sheds, things like that. ElementFencing.com. If you're looking for a new fence, I'm actually we got to put a new gate in, so I'm going to be reaching out to them after when I get back from LA and trying to set up an appointment for them, Mike Prater. So they reached out to me. They're a new company that I hadn't really, or they're not a new company. They've been around for 15 years, but someone that I hadn't really known about or talked with, and been very impressed after doing some research with them. ElementFencing.com. And again, they reached out and said, what can we do to help with the NIL game? And I said, let's put something together with Riley Smith. And we did that. And here is Riley Smith after practice interviewing his teammate, Matt Lauder. And again, after we're done here, let's get the critique on the interview because he told me, he said, hey, I need to know, how can I get it better for next time? And here he is, our man, Riley Smith, at practice.
What's up, guys? This is Riley Smith here. Once again, thank you to Element Fencing for making this all possible. Here today, post-practice with my tight end here, Matt Lauder. Right after practice, we just got done balling out, so decided to interview my boy here. And I wanted to start off by doing this hot and saying, how are you going to achieve the impossible task of taking over my spot when I leave?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. Like, over the years, I mean, you taught me many things, high football IQ, and I'm excited to, get rolling next year. I mean, we've been having a good year together so far, so it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this kid. Bronco Nation, you should too, because he is an unbelievable worker, super talented kid, and also he's from down south in Florida with me. And I wanted to ask you, coming from Florida, coming from Gainesville, what is your favorite thing about Idaho?
Man, Idaho is awesome, man. I think probably just the people in Idaho are great, man. Everything about Idaho is just amazing. I love the snow. I'm a skier myself. I like to get up on the slope sometimes. So, yeah, man, Idaho's an amazing place. What about you?
I'd say my favorite's the food, no doubt. I mean, down south the food's good too, but you can't beat Boise potatoes and all that comes with it. And going to the football side of things, the tight ends, we like to jar out. We like to get in the trenches. That's one of our favorite things to do in this offense. What is your favorite run scheme and run block to do?
I'd probably say pound, which is where I have a removal block, which is one-on-one with the DN. I like to jar out on that, man, get some movement, and, we get after it. So.
All right, last question. From the bowl game, what is your favorite gift that you got, especially from Gronk with all the Gronk swag? What is your favorite thing you got that you're going to be sporting the rest of the week?
Yeah, I really like the Oakley visors, the Oakley glasses, sorry about that. The Oakley glasses are really nice. They got a cool tint to them, so excited about that. I like the football we got. I was throwing it around in the room a little bit. Maybe we can get in the pool and throw it around, so I'm excited about that.
Yes, sir. This is with Matt Lauder, my guy right here. Excited for him next year. He's going to be balling out. Appreciate you guys.
It does seem a little wrong, Mike Prater, that a football player who probably has 50 million footballs says the LA Bowl football is one of his best gifts.
Well, if it's got a Gronk signature on it or a cool logo or a palm tree or a sunset on it, that's pretty cool. Hey, Riley Smith's not bad, especially right off the top, man. He nailed the sponsor and he set it up pretty nicely. And he needs to, Lauder needs to work on his end of the game a little bit. He could probably be a little bit more of an experienced interviewee, but not bad, Riley Smith. Not bad at all.
We should have another player interview coming today after practice. There'll be some other players talking at practice, and if when the Eric Shenander news becomes a formality, hoping to catch up with him a little bit. Maybe you can catch up with Bush Hamden as well. I know he talked on the virtual press conference yesterday, but just this team and this matchup, Mike, we talked about it Monday, but just this opportunity to finish with a 9th win, and UCLA is having some opt-outs. I know Boise State obviously had the big one, but just where are you generally and overall with this matchup and this game on Saturday, and how you're feeling about Boise State's chances?
It's a big game for Boise State. We don't have to sit here and say why. I mean, the momentum into the offseason. When Jeremiah Dickey fired Andy Avalos, the first thing he said was, I need to find this football team to be in a position to make a CFP run, to get into that tournament and capture some millions of dollars. And I think this is an important part of it. Everything that Jeremiah Dickey's been able to control over these last 6 weeks, he's controlled it, and he's controlled it really well. You can't control a football game, so it's very important that the momentum continues. If you win this football game and you keep that going in the offseason, that's a pretty significant start to the CFP run that Jeremiah Dickey wants. So I think it's important. It's vital. That doesn't mean if they lose this football game, they can't do it. Boise State's going to be starting over with a brand new quarterback, and they're going to be losing some depth, and they're going to be losing some key seniors, and they're going to have to play the transition game through the transfer portal and the super seniors. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but I think this is vitally important. And we all know that the bowl season comes down to one word and one word only, the M word, motivation. And I have a feeling that Boise State's going to be highly more motivated than UCLA. What's UCLA's motivation here? I mean, Chip Kelly's not going to motivate you. The star defensive lineman who's going to the NFL to be a millionaire just left. He's not motivated to stick around. Other opt-outs on this football team. I just think, and certainly the history, the Mountain West has a great history against the Pac-12 in the postseason because highly ranked, Mountain West teams higher in the standings than Pac-12 teams lower in their standings should win those football games, and they should be more motivated. And I think that's exactly the scenario we have for this Saturday night.
Yeah, both games in the LA Bowl. Utah State won, and then Fresno State has won the last 2 years. And then this bowl previously was essentially the Las Vegas Bowl, the Mountain West champion against the 6-6 middle of the road Pac-12 team, and the Mountain West won more times than not in that game as well. And so, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt if you're looking at who does this game mean more to? It's certainly Boise State, but again, sometimes talent wins over, and you would say UCLA may, from a talent perspective, have more raw, pure talent on this team, but we'll find out on Saturday, and a second straight game in an NFL stadium too. So I don't know if that's not, I think if this had been the first one, you might have had some guys kind of wide-eyed, LA stadium, but we saw that game in Vegas. I watched when the players walked out, they were all taking the videos of their phone and all that. I think they kind of, got that out of the way. I mean, I know UCLA plays in a lot of much bigger stadiums and things like that, Mike, but I think that as corny or crazy as it sounds, already playing in Allegiant Stadium last week, I think may help Boise State a little bit.
Can't hurt. It can't hurt. I mean, that shock and awe factor, where you can lose a football game in the first quarter or the first half, especially if you're playing a quarterback making his first ever start, that could be a big difference there. So, I mean, that's certainly another reason why to keep an eye on this football game. But, yeah, the Vegas thing certainly had to help. And playing in Los Angeles and in this stadium certainly has to help. And it's going to help these younger players on this football team into the offseason coming away from that experience. So I think it's really cool that the way this football team has rallied and got itself into this position. I like the way that they're rallying around Spencer Danielson, and I really expect a pretty good performance. To me, the most important person on this entire football family right now is Bush Hamdan, who ironically, as you said yesterday, now becomes the highest paid assistant in the history of Boise State football. It all comes down to him. If he can
Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com.
All right, Mike Prater, I cut you off while you were talking there. I apologize. I started to lose my internet, and the alternative was you being done talking and then not knowing where I was and having a disaster. So I wasn't sure if you were done or not, and I hit the add button. So I apologize for cutting you off, but there was no dead air. I guess that was better than leaving you hanging. We almost made it through a full show with no Wi-Fi issues at a hotel internet, but we couldn't quite make it. But I apologize for cutting you off there. Final thing, and I'll get you out of here. I'm going to stay on a little longer and play some more interviews and stuff. It won't waste your time. Any other just thoughts on this week, this game, this team? This will be your kind of final word before the game on BNN at least. We're going to go read your George Helani column here in a little bit when I get it posted. But I guess just your final thoughts on this season, this game on Saturday, whatever direction you want to take it.
I don't want the season to end. It's for a sports talk radio guy, for a newspaper column guy, for an opinionated guy, just for a college football fan and a Boise State guy living in this Boise community. It's been a really, I don't want to say fun because I'm not sure. Well, fun's not the right word. It's been a crazy wild ride, and we've enjoyed the highs. We've suffered through the lows. It's been absolutely wild. We'll see it. We'll never see another football season like this again. And Saturday night about 11 o'clock, you're going to be doing your post-game show. I know we're going to be doing our post-game show, and there's going to be emotions. So there'll be emotions all over that football field, and it will trickle all the way throughout the Boise State football family. Some people probably are ready to put this football season to bed, and I get that, but I like drama. I like crazy headlines, and this has been a really, really fun, entertaining, wild ride season. And Saturday night's going to be kind of sad that it's over. I can't believe it's over. August 1st rolls around, and you think the long, crazy football season is ahead. It still seems like August to me, but here we are in December, getting ready to play a bowl game, and I hope Boise State goes out and takes care of business. I grew up a Pac-12 fan, and I like every team in the Pac-12 except for UCLA. I don't like those stinking colors on their uniforms. That baby blue drives me crazy. I don't like the history of UCLA football. I don't like the apathy that is surrounded with UCLA football. And somebody asked me the other day, could Boise State put 10,000 fans in that stands on Saturday? Maybe that's more than what UCLA brings. I'm not sure that that's going to happen, but I just hope Boise State takes care of football in this season, wraps this sucker up, and then we know on Monday morning, at least for us and for you, signing day is next week as well. So a new cycle begins right after the game on Saturday night.
Yeah, I know that it doesn't really mean much this game. It's a bowl game, whatever. You get Rob Gronkowski handing a belt to whatever team wins. But, it's been as crazy as this season has, Mike Prater. If they're able to find a way, I mean, it just seems like this story this season, if you could end it with, like I said, Rob Gronkowski handing Spencer Danielson the trophy on the stage after the game, it would just kind of be, I think, a fitting kind of cap for this season. Who would have ever thought we'd be here a month ago? But here we are, and I think it would, in terms of the historical magnitude of this season and stuff. You're able to win this game, have that 9th win. I think it would cap it in a way a little nicer, 5-10 years from now than if you lose this game. But it's not a big deal in the end. I know for your show, for my shows, the off season, there'd be a little more momentum if you win this game. You're still undefeated in the Spencer Danielson era. You find a way to keep this thing rolling. I think that would make for a fun off season, but should be fun on Saturday. And again, sorry for abruptly cutting you off. I'm getting some slack in the comments for that, but I've seen Mike Prater when my internet goes out, and I've seen his reaction. And so I was a little quick on the trigger there because I thought my internet was going out, and I didn't want to leave Mike Prater hanging, and so I made a quick decision, and I actually weren't sure if you were done talking or not, so I apologize. That was bad hosting on my part.
It's all good. It's all good. So we're all good here, and just having fun, and I appreciate you having me on this week and throughout the whole season. It's been a blast, and I know we're going to keep this sucker going, and there's plenty of things to talk about in the offseason. We'll certainly dive into more of this basketball season. Cannot wait. I'll be at the game on Sunday at Cal State Fullerton, so looking forward to basketball season as well, my friend.
Appreciate you, Mike. I'm going to keep this rolling, but we will let you get ready for your show. 3 to 6. Any big topics today? I'll let you give a promo on the way out. 3 to 6, Idaho Sports Talk, Prater, JP, Bob, Johnny, the whole crew.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up our taste of the college football bowl season, and our good friend Chef Wally's bringing in some fried gator, and we're going to mix it up with some peaches and some oranges and some avocados and some potatoes and some mayonnaise and all the things that are out there in bowl land, including some Cheez-Its and Pop-Tarts. We're going to have ourselves a little meal live right here on Idaho Sports Talk at 4 o'clock today.
When I heard about that segment, I thought, man, that's pretty darn cool. So 3 to 6 today. We'll be listening and wishing we were enjoying that. You guys get to eat on the air, I guess. That's not fair, but
fried gator live on the air, baby.
Appreciate you again, Mike, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, BJ. Have a good one, bud.
All right, there he is, Mike Prater. Appreciate him. And again, I'll get his column up shortly here with George Halani was the topic there. He sent it right when the show was about to end. So, and again, yeah, apologize for the weird cutting off Mike Prater there at the we're doing this on the fly, and there was an internet issue, and I wasn't sure what was going on, so I accidentally pulled the trigger, and I did cut him off there, so I apologize for that. I wanted to play a little bit of Rodney Robinson, if I can find the interview here. I believe it's right. Is this it? Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Rodney Robinson, Boise State safety, starting the last couple of years. I had a chance exclusively after practice yesterday to catch up with Rodney Robinson. The full interview is on the BNN YouTube channel, but we'll play a little bit of it here. Rodney Robinson on Bronco Nation News.
It's been a good vibe so far. You know, it's always good to be back home in Cali, stuff like that. I already texted a few friends saying I'm down here and stuff. You know, just enjoying the weather and the vibes right now.
Is it crazy we're even here? Like, you think back a month ago, just the stuff that's transpired. I mean, how do you kind of explain the last month?
Yeah, since we've won the championship, it's been like that and stuff. So, you know, just like since we won the championship, just just reflecting on the season, like, damn, we started off with a 0.1 chance to even get in the championship, and we ended up winning. So, just being blessed with this opportunity to come play here in LA, especially in SoFi Stadium. We just went in Allegiant, and now we get to go to SoFi. So, it doesn't get too much better than this.
Got anything for him?
I got this.
What sometimes bowl games, like, some teams are just trying to get the season over with. They don't really want to be here. Like, it seems like this team wants to finish with a win. Like, how focused, motivated is this team here?
Oh no, this team is real motivated. I can say for myself too. Like, I still think I got a couple more weeks to football left to play with me. So I just been, taking it day by day. I think the team has been taking it day by day as well too. We just all out here having fun, enjoying each other for this last week before the season ends.
What what would a 9th win? Like, as crazy as season's been, like, I know the championship was nice, but going into the offseason, having that 9th win, beating a UCLA team, like, how big would a win be to kind of just cap this season, but also kind of propel, into next season?
I think it'll be big for us because that's our goal at the beginning of the year, win a Mountain West championship and a bowl game. So, we got one of those goals down. Now it's time to, take it day by day and to complete that second goal. And, I think it'll be big for the program. UCLA, that's one of the premier programs in college football and stuff. So, just keep working, and we're trying to get that dub at the end of the day.
What's it been like since Spencer kind of was retained as full-time coach? Has he changed at all, or what's it like now?
Nah, he's still the same. He's still the same guy from when he came and recruited me in San Bernardino to right now. He, high energy guy. Even today he was out there pushing us in the warm-up lines and stuff. Just getting us going. So, I always appreciate him, and the whole team appreciates him.
All right, there's Rodney Robinson. Again, the full interview is up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. By the way, they have a Peloton bike in my hotel room. I've never seen that before, where they just give you a Peloton bike right there in the room. It was actually kind of cool. Let's go from one member of the secondary to another. Jalen Clark, the Boise State cornerback. Let's hear from Jalen Clark here on his thoughts on the Broncos as they get set for the LA Bowl on Saturday.
Obviously a lot of people, damn near half the team is from here. So, it's really exciting to have a lot of people be able to see their families, people in the hotel. But being able to get out in the sun and seeing the palm trees is definitely good. It was crazy to see when we left to Vegas, it snowed right before we left. So, out here, we know we're not getting no snow. So it's real good to be out there and be in the sun.
Just to think where you guys were a month ago, not even sure you'd get to a bowl game.
Yeah.
To now have a ring coming and be champions and now playing UCLA in another NFL stadium, like, how do you describe the last month, man?
I think you describe it as just that's college football. It's 2023, all the type of things with the no divisions, and, it's never over until it's over. And I think with this team, how tight we are, and we talked about this since fall camp, and, the seniors always talked about this, probably one of the tightest teams we've been on. And I think that right there shows a testament of, what we've done towards the latter part of the season, being able to stick together.
So what would it mean? Like, I know the ring's nice, championship's nice, but to finish it off with a 9th win, beating UCLA, a bowl, whether it's to cap this season, move ahead for next season, whatever, like, how motivated are you guys to write another chapter in this story?
The goal in our team room, we see it every day, is to win a Mountain West championship in a bowl game with academic integrity and academic equity. So I think being able to finish this off, we were sitting, like you said, a month ago, really, having to self-reflect on a lot of different things with the circumstances we were in. But, being able to come in, like you said, finish the season off with 2 goals that we've always set out for ourselves, regardless of how it's been going. Like you said, get the 9th win against a Power 5 team, a good team over there, a well-coached team. I think it goes to show that for these seniors that are going to be gone, that won't be able to come back next year, this all for them at the end of the day.
I know you guys wanted to be in, like, undefeated, be in the Fiesta Bowl, whatever, but, like, if I'd have told you before the season, Mountain West champs, 9 wins, 2 games at NFL Stadium, you get to play UCLA, like, most fans at least would have taken this. Like, to think how crazy the season was with all the Hail Mary, like, all this crazy stuff, and to be here now, like, how do you describe, like, I know I kind of asked you, but, like, how do you just describe standing here right now?
It's more surreal than anything. It's kind of, Coach D talked about leaving a legacy, and I guess that's a perfect word for this type of season. Like you said, everyone wants 12-0, all that type of stuff, and we've done that before, and that's still always the goal. Don't get me wrong, but being able to finish, like you said, with the championship ring of the conference, which is always a standard, and winning a real nice bowl game hosted by Gronk, and finding that out was also pretty cool. So I think, being able to end the season off with the guys and the people that are still here, And, it's real good for us.
What's the plan? You going to get to meet Gronk at some point?
They talked to us yesterday. They said at the welcome reception. He wasn't there yesterday, but we will be able to meet him probably at SoFi.
I mean, 2 games in a row in NFL stadiums. Like, I don't know if I saw when a lot of the players came out of Allegiant that kind of had their phones and stuff out. Like, I don't know if it'll be the same this week or if you've already been out there, but like, what does it help at all that you already played in an NFL stadium last week? Maybe you're not going to be quite as wide. I mean, but you SoCal guys, that's probably a big deal.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, going in the Legion, it was definitely surreal seeing kind of how high it was, the difference in being in a real NFL stadium. And it'll definitely be the same thing. I've only heard nothing but good things about SoFi. And how it's almost, I heard it's like a mall in there. So being able to play in there, the Super Bowl has been played there. So again, for, people from inner cities who may not even think about playing NFL stadiums until we may be able to get there, it's definitely a cool experience.
Well, there he is, Jalen Clark. And again, if you want to watch the full interview with Jalen Clark, that is up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. Again, apologize today for the mic situation. A little nervous, actually, that I may have broken this thing. A $3 energy drink got spilled right before the show, and my mixer got wet, and I apologize, and there was something going on with the crackling. So one of you suggested using the hair dryer to try to dry it out. I'm hoping that ends up being the case and that this thing is not broken, because as small as this thing is, it is not cheap. This was not a cheap piece of equipment. And I have another one back in Boise, but I don't think I brought it back up here on the trip. And so you may be stuck with poor audio quality here for the rest of the week. But let's keep it rolling. Billy Bowens, Boise State's 6th-year wide receiver, his final game as a Bronco coming up on Saturday. I had the chance again after practice, one-on-one, Bronco Nation News, and Billy Bowens.
Fortunate, give all the glory to God and our staff, and our players for being resilient. Everyone's sticking together. It's not an easy task to do, but I'm glad we were able to accomplish it.
How'd you get it done?
Just sticking together, being who we are, loving each other, believing in each other even when no one else does. No one knows those conversations we have, especially when the doors are closed, and they're rough. People think it's always good just because we're here. No, it was a rough season. You have those times when you're low, and you got to rely on other people and lean on your brothers and pick other people up too. So it wasn't easy, but I'm glad we made it.
As a 6th-year guy, like this, literally your last game. Like how badly do you want to win this? What would it mean for you for your last college game to know you had a win?
I mean, you always want to go out a winner in everything you do, just being competitive, especially being in this field. You want to win and do everything the right way and go out a winner. I'm super fortunate to be in this position to play this game. Not a lot of people get this opportunity. Super blow there and play one more last one.
Tell us about CJ Tiller. We heard from Coach Danielson. He's probably going to be the guy this week, at least to start with. Like how much confidence you guys got in CJ?
Extreme confidence, next man up mentality. We've been getting him ready. I mean, he's been learning and been in the room with those guys year round, and he's super ready. Our staff is going to get him ready. They're going to have him prepared. We just tell him once again, you don't need to put on a cape. You don't need to do anything we haven't been doing. Just do your job, and we'll take care of the rest.
So whether it's like making a tough catch or whatever, like what can you guys do as an offense to help CJ?
Yeah, just go out there and make explosive plays, and just make our plays that are there for us to make. You just want to do your job, and that's everybody handling their job. Linemen blocking, running backs running, receivers catching, quarterback making the right reads. Just do your job, and we'll be successful.
So what do you think of the matchup with UCLA?
They're a really good team. We see them on film. Give them all the credit. They play super hard. We know what they are defensively, especially. Watching them on film, those guys fly around. They make plays. They're a talented group, so we know exactly what we're getting into.
And I know you've only been here 24 hours. But I mean, how some teams, they come to a bowl game, they just want to get the season over with, get to Christmas, whatever. Like, it seems like this team really likes being together and like wants to finish this thing. Like, how motivated is this team to win on Saturday?
Extremely. We've had a rough ride this year, as everyone knows, and I mean, it would just be right to finish it the right way. You always want to go out a winner and do the right thing. So we're excited. Love this group, and I'm glad we got one more together.
Well, there you go, Billy Bowens. And again, we appreciate him for his time. Billy Bowens, Rodney Robinson, Jalen Clark, Matt Lauder, a lot of interviews up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. Yesterday, our first day here in Los Angeles. We have practice again scheduled for today. They're getting ready to start practice right now. It's not open to the media, so we won't have any practice clips, but we do get interviews after practice. So I believe Ashton Genty is talking today. Let's see who else is on the list here. We'll have Ashton Genty, Ahmed Hassanin, Garrett Curran, Austin Bolt, Andrew Simpson, and Jonah Dalmas scheduled to talk with the media today. So another full day of interviews and content, and we'll see who Riley Smith grabs today. I'm trying to get him to get CJ Tiller. They're not making him available to us, but maybe Riley Smith can kind of circumvent the system here and get an interview with CJ Tiller. I'm certainly trying, and we'll see if we can get that done today. So stay tuned on that. But could be that could be a good one if we can pull it off. And I know some folks would be, you guys would be happy to hear him. And maybe some other folks in the media or wherever else would be a little jealous, I guess, if we got him on BNN first. So we're going to see if we can get Riley Smith to try to go get his teammate CJ Tiller for a short interview today after practice. But we'll see what happens with that. So appreciate you guys for watching us today. Thanks to Mike Prater. And again, apologize for some of the audio issues. But we're in LA. We're at the hotel. We were not part of the police chase last night, although I did see it go right by my hotel room and then watched it on TV for a half an hour. That was fun. I got the true LA experience, as I said at the beginning of the show, watching a police chase in LA while being in LA. So those things, man, you can't turn them off. I don't know if you guys have ever turned on a police chase before, but like once it gets going, like it's good. Like I kept watching it for like 40 minutes until they actually had to end the coverage because a guy got into some bushes and trees and they couldn't find him anymore. So those things will hook you, man, a good police chase. So yeah, we're having fun in LA. Excited to be here all week. And again, we'll have full coverage today, interviews, practice. We'll see when the news on Eric Chenander has been made official. He's likely to be promoted to defensive coordinator at some point today. We'll have coverage of that. And then I'm working on a story on the players' confidence in CJ Tiller and Colt Fulton, whoever it ends up being, or if Colt Fulton has to come in later in the game. But just these two young quarterbacks, how much confidence does this team have in them? I'm working on a story on that, and we'll have that posted here shortly. And then, as you heard from Mike Prater, he's got a column on George Halani, which we'll be posting as soon as the show ends as well. So make sure you subscribe. BNN 50 deals, that promo code BNN 50 deal. And I do have another clip I want to play. This was from our subscriber only show. And let's see if I can pull it up here. I'm doing this on the fly. I don't remember where I put this, but on the subscriber show, we were talking about the quarterbacks, and it's going to take a minute to load, so I'll fill here. We were talking about the quarterbacks on the show and who is the best quarterback to give you a chance to win this game. And what do you do? Do you play the guy that maybe is your future? You know, CJ Tiller certainly has the more of the long-term future, I guess you could say, as the scholarship quarterback. Or do you go with the guy, maybe a walk-on that's been around for a couple of years, but he might actually give you a better chance to win this game on Saturday? They've decided to go with CJ Tiller, it sounds like, but I asked our panel of coaches what they would do. What's your thoughts? Do you have to worry about next year, or do you worry about winning this game? And here's what our panel had to say. Kent Riddle, Brad Bedell, and Winston Venable. This was on our subscriber-only show. I'm giving you a tease here if you're not a paying subscriber. BNN 50 deals, that promo code, $50 for a full year of coverage to Bronco Nation News. That includes access to this link to watch this 90-minute show. But here's their take on the quarterback situation.
CJ Tiller, who is the scholarship quarterback, the true freshman, maybe has the higher ceiling long-term. You want to see what you have in him maybe for next year versus a guy that's been in the program 3 years, is a walk-on, but by all accounts knows the offense as good as Bush, is smart, is always in the film room, is maybe in terms of this game, maybe being the better quarterback to give you a chance to win, running the offense, things like that, versus the long term. Do you want to see what you have in a guy for next year?
Queue up Herm Edwards somewhere.
Who would you guys start? Who would you guys start a quarterback in this game on Saturday here?
In all seriousness, like you play to win the game. I know that sounds corny, and we can certainly make it sound very corny, but
you would go with the walk-on Colt Fulton?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going with, I'm not at practice every day, but I'm going with whoever gives us the best chance to win the game. I'm not worried about, does this help him next year? Does this help us next? Like, I don't care about that. Like, which guy helps us win the game? Because if they play CJ Tiller and he wins the game, we're feeling good about next year, right? If they play Colt Fulton and he wins the game, are we feeling good about next year? Yeah, probably, right? Yeah. I mean,
or how about this? The quarterback that's starting next year is not on the roster yet.
Well, I think a lot of people agree.
So
that's the long term.
To play for the future and do all that, you play to win the game.
Yeah, it's a right now business, man. For the coaches, for the players, those guys want to host that championship trophy, the bowl game trophy. The coaches want to go out with a bang, the best record they can get.
So you don't care walk on versus scholarship. No. If he's the better quarterback, you give him the.
I think that's one of the funniest things. Like every year you listen to this, and it's like, well, we gotta see what we got with it. Like, well, if he was ready, he'd be ready, and we'd all know it, right? I mean,
Well, there's a quick tease of those guys. A great 90-minute discussion on the show a couple nights ago. So again, if you are a paying subscriber, you can go to the website and watch that video, or you should have a link in your email to watch the full 90-minute discussion on Boise State football and the LA Bowl. If you are not a subscriber and you subscribe, email me and I'll send you the link and you can watch the full show. You can also read Mike Prater's exclusive column. It's going up in about 10 minutes, and you have to be a BNN subscriber to read Mike Prater's thoughts on George Holani's legacy at Boise State. All of a story on the quarterback situation up today as well. And again, BNN 50 deal. You put the coupon, you go sign up for the yearly option. You click on the coupon code, type in BNN 50 deal. It knocks $20 off your first year. It's only $50 for 365 days of coverage. And then it goes up to $70 every year after that. So a lot of exclusive content coming. We're going to try to make these, monthly evening shows kind of subscriber only if we can. We're actually working on a spring edition of Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. May make some of that subscriber only as well. We got some things we're working on that we'll be announcing later, but you're gonna want to be a subscriber so you don't miss any of our shows moving forward. And we would love to have you jump in. BNN 50 deal, $50 full year. Help with our travel costs, getting down here to LA and everything that we're doing. We pay Mike Prater, we pay Jay Tuss, we pay John Mallory. So if you're able to help us out, we would really appreciate it as we continue to try to build BNN here moving forward. So again, going to go get some interviews today at practice, and I got a lot covered scheduled for today. 2 articles going up, interviews, practice, footage, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you stay tuned to BroncoNationNews.com. Check the website later today. We'll have some news on Eric Chenander, which may make for a third story today, now that I think about it. So a lot of coverage down here in LA. We're having fun as we get you closer for the LA Bowl tomorrow. We'll be live with Jay Tuss in the morning, and then we'll have the press conference. There's a charity event. Still trying to find Gronk. I don't know if he'll be at the press conference tomorrow or what, but still working on trying to find Rob Gronkowski and what he's going to be doing around here. So looking forward to hopefully catching up with him at some point if we can as well. That might be the interview that breaks the internet with BNN. So helps us go viral maybe if we can get Rob Gronkowski for a couple minutes. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Going to get over to practice here shortly and get those interviews. We'll get those posted. We'll get the stories posted. A lot of content to come. And if you are watching on Facebook or Twitter, we ask that in the future you switch over to YouTube. It's just youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. Again, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. Hopefully you subscribe on YouTube. If you don't, you can do it there. If you're watching this on YouTube but you're not a subscriber, there's a little button down there in the corner of the screen. Please click subscribe. Please click like. As the kids say, smash the like button, smash that subscribe button. We'd love to have you. It helps in the algorithms and things if you can give us some more engagement on the posts here. So subscribe and like if you can, and then you can turn on your notifications so you know when we go live with future BNN broadcasts. So appreciate all you guys for the kind words. Have a great day. Plenty of coverage to come. Make sure you're following us on social media. My Twitter account, @BJ at BNN Bronco Nation. And we'll get the news and stuff out there first on social media. So check us out. Go subscribe. We'd love to have you. And plenty of content to come shortly from Los Angeles. Boise State getting set for the LA Bowl against UCLA. Full day of coverage coming. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. Talk to you soon, everybody.